Hi guys, I'm here chilling by the poolside for another episode of She Likes Cars. In this episode, we will be getting some car purchasing tips from my good friend. Let's go. So guys, as I indicated before, I have my very good friend with me here, Fabian, and he will actually be giving us some financial advice repurchasing a car. Hi Fabian.
Hi, Sammy.
Thank you for coming on my show.
You're most welcome.
Fabian is the owner of FRD Financial Consultants. Fabian, tell us some more about your company.
Well, my company is a financial consultancy firm that provides customers financial advice in making wise and prudent financial decisions. So it was established in May 12th this year, 2020, and it has grown significantly since when established. We're already at about 2,500 followers. So on average, we gain at least 500 followers per month.
And this is on Instagram.
And this is on Instagram.
So what are the services, some of the services? Even though this interview will be focused on cars and purchasing cars, what are some of the other services that your company offers?
Well, we offer mortgage consultancy, so we'll do research in terms of finding which financial institution is offering customer good interest rate on mortgage, the best terms and conditions. Same for personal loans, as well as the purchase of motor vehicle. Because we finance a lot of motor vehicles through various financial institutions. We also do business registration for not only sole trader, for partnership businesses, as well as limited liabilities in corporation. We do tax consultancy, we do financial statement, and a wide variety. We plan on expanding more. Just want it be a one-stop shop when a customer contact me.
That's very good. So can you tell us your Instagram handle?
Yes, it's FRD Financial Consultants.
Okay, great. Alright, so whilst the focus of the interview is related to financial advice in terms of car purchasing tips, what tips would you give to a person who is basically purchasing their first car, whether it be new or used?
That's a very good question. In purchasing a car, a person is pretty much excited and delighted because they can't wait to even step around the steerings. Believe me, I have clients who have reached out to me to purchase a car and they don't even have a driver's license. So,
okay.
It's not that we can't help. We try our best to guide and advise the customer in terms of the steps and processes that requires. For a first-time car owner, it is very important. I'm going to start out with the used car first, because primarily most persons wanting to buy a used car versus a new car. In purchasing a used car, of course, you want to ensure that the car is in good working condition. It's paramount important for you to get a valuation report. A valuation report would outline if there was any defects with it. Most of the used car, not all, but most of the used car would have been in an accident before. So with the valuation report, it will also give an insight on the extent of how good the refurbished modification or fixes on the crashed vehicle. So with that being said, you should get a valuation report. What you can also ask for is a Carfax report. The Carfax report gives in-depth insight and magnitude of the accident the car is in, whether in the States or Canada, wherever the car is imported from. Secondly, a mechanic. It's very important to get someone that is independent of the process, so you ensure you get a certified mechanic who can assess the vehicle to ensure that the vehicle is in good working condition. Because one of the primary documentation the bank will ask a customer to sign is to you confirm that you accept the vehicle in the current state and condition that it is in. So you can't come back to the bank after the fact to say that the car have an issue. No, you have already signed into the contract already. So it's important to get there. If it's going to cost you, please is you better you let that small cost, pay that small cost up front, than you have a big cost in the back end. So get a valuation, get the Carfax, get a mechanic who's independent of the process, as well as ensure that the mechanic is certified before you make a big investment in purchasing a car.
Okay, so when purchasing a car, would you recommend a new car dealership or a used car dealer?
That's a very good question. It comes back basically to the client type and as well as the person budget. Of course, everybody will wish they can own a brand new car, but based on their salary, the salary doesn't afford them to get a brand new car, so that they work based on their budget, because especially if they work through the bank for a loan, it comes back to what the person's debt service ratio is. The debt service ratio is the income versus what your expense is, and the bank have a cap. So with that being said, if it's that your salary cannot afford you to get a brand new vehicle, of course you have to sell it for a used car.
Okay.
So I would recommend, based
Whatever
on what your budget
yes,
can
whatever
afford.
you can afford. Okay, no problem. Can you explain to me trading? When you have purchased a vehicle and you want to trade in, can you explain that to me? Because I recall getting an email sometimes that I can trade in my vehicle.
Alright, so trading, it's not only unique to new car dealership, but some used car dealer also do trading. Trading is when they take your current vehicle at a specific price and you have paid out the differences. So most time, if not all cases, a person might have a lien. A lien is maybe have a loan on a vehicle that they're currently driving that they would have purchased from a new car dealership. So in that you said you got an email, what you can do a valuation on the vehicle, take it in, you were interested in the trading, maybe you're driving a 2019 and you were 2020 model has just launched and you like it. So if you do the trading, you'd have paid the difference of the two. So if you have a lien, they would have liquidated whatever the balance is with the institution, and they would have taken your vehicle and they would have put it to the pre-owned to sell. But most of the time, for new car dealership, they take 50% below the actual selling prices. So most of the time, it is recommended that you sell your vehicle because you're getting it for less. They're taking it for less and you can make profit. And it also exists with the used car dealers. It's a little bit different, because with the used car dealer, they just simply take your car, you sign it to title, it's years, and then tell you what it is.
Sure. Nice, thank you. So, what would you recommend to a person in terms of paying for cash? Paying for a car via cash or taking a loan?
Buying a car cash versus taking it. This is just my expert opinion. A car is a depreciating asset, and I will not want to take all my money to purchase a depreciated asset, because the moment I drive off that lot, the car starts to lose value. So I would always recommend a person to take out a loan versus purchasing a car cash, because time value of the money. You can invest that money and earn a lot of interest, and it depends on the instrument that you have invest the funds in. And oftentimes that return can use are used to inject or make some lump sum payment on the loan if it's that you're not taking the loan. Secondly, you can go halfway in the sense that you can deposit 50% of what the selling price is and you don't invest the difference. That means the monthly payment will have been significantly low.
Yes.
That's just one option. The other option is that you can have an extra cash security, in which you put up your funds, you get the cash, and you purchase the car, in which you are getting return on your money. And with cash secured loan, the interest rate it's okay within 6, 7%, 8%, depending on the financial institution you go to, and depends on the instrument you have invested in, as well as the timeline. The timeline varies between 10 and 15 years. So with that, you can tweak it based on a monthly payment that best suits you.
Yes.
So those are possible options. So I would strongly recommend a person to explore a loan option than to use all their resource to inject in a depreciating asset.
Okay, guys, so you hear that you don't have to feel anyway if it is that you have to take a loan to buy your vehicle. It is actually a wise move, alright?
Definitely.
Because I remember I feel a way like I wish I had the cash to buy a car. But no, you're telling me that the loan, and you're explaining to me that the loan is the better option. And based on your explanation, I do agree that it's a better option.
Not only that, because a person might drive a typical time span, a male might keep a car for is between 2 to 3 years.
What about
Female is much longer.
Really? Oh my god, I'm different because I don't like to keep that for
Female
long.
might keep a car much longer than a male, but a female car is oftentimes weak.
Cleaner and better kept, yes.
Than a male car. So, with that being said, you can sell the car at a little bit above what the based on the valuation price, and you have a little change in your pocket.
Alright, so we're focusing on loans just now, right? What are some of the important factors that we should consider when taking out a loan?
Wow. Some of the important factors that person should ensure they pay close attention to is their affordability. Budget. Their budget, how much they can afford to pay. Because you can't want to put a $5 million vehicle in which monthly payment is this is an example. The monthly payment is 80,000 and you're earning 75,000. And you just decide that's that you want most that possible. And this is example of actual situation that I've faced before. So some of the close factors that person should take in consideration is their affordability, interest rate on the loan. Ensure you do your due diligence and shop around or touch base with FRD financial consultant. Let us do the research for you because we have that empirical data across the various financial institutions, so we can outline what interest rate the various institutions offer. The terms and conditions is also important in acquiring a loan. Don't wait until you're in a position, then you draw back for the documents to read it. Take the time out to read the terms and conditions before you sign. A lot of persons just so eager into wanting to get out of the car steerings that they don't read no terms and conditions.
Guilty.
They just want to drive. So it's paramount important that you read the terms and conditions. You look about the interest rate. The tenure is also important. When you do your research, you see what the various institution is offering as it relates to the tenure. The tenure is the timeline, how long you will take to repay this. So the tenure is different depending on the institution. So different institution give different tenure, different interest rate. Of course you want the monthly payment to be low. So ensure you get the lowest interest rate and the better tenure. That will ensure you have a low monthly payment.
So does the length of the tenure affect the monthly payment?
Yes, it can.
Okay, so would it be wise to, in aim of getting a low monthly payment, go for the bank that offers you the longest payment period? I
can say yes, there's a pros and a con with that. The longer the tenure is, the more interest you have paid to the bank. But of course, very rare customer will keep a car for 9 years, 10 years, 8 years, on very rare occasion. So your intention is not to keep the car for 10 years, but you want the 10 years so your monthly payment can be low, because at any given time you can put that for sale sign on the car and the bank don't have any objection in you disposing of that asset. Another key factor that you should look into is reducing balance versus the add-on interest rate. A lot of times persons don't know how the loan is amortized based on if it's reducing balance versus add-on. Reducing balance is interest is calculated per day, so it's per day interest calculation. Add-on, if it's that you take a loan for say $2 million and over the life of the loan you'd have paid 4.5. That's how it starts to amortize. Based on 4.5 come down. So they add the interest onto your $2 million and then you start to pay.
Wow.
So it's very important that you understand reducing balance versus add-on interest rate. And as consumers, it's good that you do your own research. Google it, YouTube it, understand what these words mean, and look it up in making more conform and prudent financial decisions.
Should I say though that based on add-ons and what's the other one? Reducing balance. It sounds to me as though the reducing balance is the better one to work with, because that add-on is something kind of sound and a little bit sticky. Would you say?
Yes. As well as you should ensure that interest rate is either fixed or variable. When the interest rate is variable, that means it is subject to change at any time.
Based on what bank feel to?
Oftentimes it's based on the economy.
Oh, okay.
So the economy is going to recession or is any form of depression. The bank use this to combat against it, so they can increase the interest rate as a buffer to versus the loss that they're going to face based on recession.
And fix this one is just.
That's what it is over the life of the.
Well, Fabian, thank you so much. This interview was very, I would say call it an interview. We spoke. This conversation was very informative. I learned so much. And I mean, it's not just about things that would apply to me, but I'm sure that the viewers to the blog have learned a lot of things and be able to know me some amount of wise financial decision.
They can also check out my Instagram page, because oftentimes I do have lines with different persons that will share their expertise within various fields, and it gives an appreciation of how the processes work depending on whatever the specific need or area is.
Okay, so guys, please go and follow. Can you remind us of the Instagram handle, please?
It's FRD Financial Consultants.
FRD Financial Consultants. And earlier FRD. And we heard earlier in the conversation where he explained the various services that they offer. So even if you're not looking to purchase a car, but you want to purchase a property, you want to get your business registered, all of those things, taxes done, all of that, you can go and check out their page and have them handle it for you. Alright, so thank you very much, Fabian, for your time, for your expert advice. Thank you so much. And I guess I'll have you on the show again.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate it. I just want to add as well, in a person expressing that they're interested in a loan, no more have to be going to the bank to join line. We do all of that for you. We schedule an appointment, they just walk straight through that front door to sign your documents.
Okay.
So we make it very easy for customers.
Nice.
So not back and forth in getting documents all over the place. We assist with that process.
Talk about ease of doing business, guys. Talk about ease of doing business.
So you can apply for a loan from the comfort of your home, sitting in your bed.
Yes, just send a DM or a WhatsApp or something.
That's how easy we make it.
Great. Thank you so much, Fabian, because me don't like join line. So
thank you for having me.
No problem. Alright guys, so stay tuned for the next episode on She Likes Cars. Bye. Remember to like, follow, subscribe, all of the works. Alright? Take care. Be safe.